Yeah, I did it at my house, and yeah, it was not.
Wasn't cheap.
Wasn't cheap.
Yeah, glasses. All right. Are we live? All right, good morning. Public Services and Facilities Committee meeting, 9 a.m. Tuesday, August 4th. I'd like to call the meeting to order and acknowledge the press and the public have been duly notified in accordance with the Freedom of Information Act. And I believe we do not have any citizens' comments. So first up is approval of the previous meeting minutes.
Motion to approve. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
I don't see that we have any marine attendants comments. Departmental reports.
I have just a couple of questions on that. Carrie's not here, but she did highlight in her packet that the summer camp guidelines, the drop-off 8:30 to 9 daily, there will be a car line on 28th Avenue. And I thought we had talked at the last meeting about not publicized, and I don't know what the highlight was for, is that it's going to be taken out or what, but I think we decided that we weren't going to highlight that stuff.
No,
Yeah.
Oh, here she is.
I think it was to get, there was supposed to be some sort of specification as to the car loop versus the backside. I'm talking about the drop off at.
Holy Gary.
Not.
morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, right into it.
Talking about you.
Perfect.
So Scott had a question about the drop-off note on 20th Avenue.
So I went back and looked, we never advertised anything about a car loop or cul-de-sac. We just said drop off at 28th Avenue
In the guidelines.
in the guidelines,
Yeah. Now,
which is our address.
Is that coming on 28th Avenue?
It is 28th Avenue, but that's our address.
Okay, I mean, that would, I mean, if I read that, that would imply that you're dropping them off in the 28th Avenue. Is that something we can just modify or
I
take
can
out?
take it out,
Okay,
but-
that'd be great.
Okay, yeah.
You're saying that's the front cul-de-sac.
I mean, our address is, we are 28,
28th
yeah, we are on
Avenue,
20, we
yeah.
are 24 28th Avenue. That is our address.
Yeah.
So that is where we tell people to go. That would be the front door of the building, 24 28th Avenue.
You just don't designate.
I don't designate.
28
I
on
went
the
back and
back
looked at
side,
to
yeah.
make sure
Right.
that the Camp Somerset guidelines did not say front, back, cul-de-sac. It doesn't say anything. It just says drop off.
Could we
Rec
just
Center,
either clarify or take
28th
that out?
Avenue.
Would that be okay, Carrie?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, that'd be great. Okay. And then the only other question I had is on Roberts. The debris going up, it looks like, and pickups and tonnage and all. Can you
Yeah,
comment
so-
on that? Looks like it's going up quite a bit.
So that would be for June, and the reason why we're a month behind is also because we don't get our totals from the landfill till like maybe the 4th or 5th of like the month. So yeah, the totals have gone up, and I even looked in July's that we are at I think the second highest debris total for miscellaneous debris, so that'd be construction debris, anything miscellaneous that we pick up on the island. Yard debris has also been up, and then household waste is about where it normally is, given a few tons here and there, but yeah, we're not getting any less, in other words.
Robert, on the second pickup on Fridays during the summer months, is that a pretty heavy trash day for you? Or just
It is predominantly, it goes from 32nd Avenue all the way into Wild Dunes. So Wild Dunes is our
where more
heavier.
permanent residents are?
Yeah, so Wild Dunes is our heavier pickup. We're in
Right.
Grand Pavilion. So we do pick up more. I'll say so we run, our Monday's route also runs on a Thursday. That route is lighter on the second half. But yeah, Fridays would be heavier.
I was going to suggest, I don't know if the rest of the committee's up for this, but you've been in the job now, what, 5 months, 6 months?
Three.
All 3 months?
Yeah, exactly, to the day.
To the
Four.
day. And I know you were working before that a little bit.
Yes.
Would it be too much to ask that maybe at the next meeting, I mean, you've been in the job for a bit, and, maybe give us an overview of your thoughts on, right now, we're kind of going ahead and filling a position that's always been there, but with you might have a different take on the organization. needs and requirements with everything that's been developed and over the last several years, and ideas on the fleet and ideas on, I mean, it looks like you got a good start on this ordinance and thing. Would you just give us maybe your kind of state of the union, what you're
Yeah.
seeing, and
Yeah,
would you be open to
absolutely.
that?
Yeah, I'd love to put it on, because I've built a bunch of initiatives kind of for the department, where I see it going forward. You know, I was able to watch, you know, where we had deficits for years and things that, you know, we could possibly change. I think this ordinance is proof of trying to make that change, because like, as I'll present later on, you'll see that there is like historical data, probably predates some of you on the island too, that, you know, we've struggled with this problem, and it's just been increasingly, you know, getting worse and worse. It's just not sustainable, and we'll,
Okay.
Talk about
and you
that
all,
a
you
little
all
bit.
okay with
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
yeah,
So
we
can
can
we
put that
just-
on the next time.
Put that on the agenda.
Yeah, you
Kinda
can
wide
put
open, you can-
future
yeah.
of public services,
Sure.
or whatever you want to put it down as.
I'd like to hear what you, what you're thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. You ready to move to
Yeah,
old
so,
business? Okay, so
yeah, Waterway Boulevard.
the first update is Waterway Boulevard. It's continuing. Paving's right now complete from 21st through 29th Avenue. The path is essentially been it's either been paved or it's fully prepared, with the exception of 31st and 32nd Avenues and 3607 to 3615 Waterway and Sparrow. So it's pretty much almost entirely prepared to some level. Around 31st and 32nd Avenue, there is still installation of drainage occurring, and a new wrinkle kind of came into our inbox this morning, and that is that AT&T still has to move some of their utilities. So there's been traffic that I saw since at least May where members of our construction team have been working to coordinate with them. They just responded again this morning saying, hey, we're waiting on the permit from SCDOT. So once they get that permit from SCDOT, they said they'll immediately start working on it. So we don't have a timeline yet on that, but that will prevent further movement. For the area around Sparrow Drive, construction teams are also waiting to finish the path here until they install the force main relocation and drainage. And until this new information on AT&T came up, we were basically saying completion timeline is estimated to be mid-September. Hopefully that'll remain the same, but I'll have to wait and see what we hear back from AT&T.
Just the two conversations with the rec center and then the Waterway Boulevard path. We don't have a crosswalk at 28th from Waterway, from the path to, do we? Should we? Does that?
You talking about the length of Waterway?
No, just across, just at 28 to get to the rec center. I'm
Oh,
just imagining,
yeah.
you know, bikers,
Yeah.
walkers on that
That's a good point.
multi-use path that would then
Take a left.
want to take a, yeah,
Does
go.
we'd have to have DOT?
That's a DOT.
DOT, and then we
Is
would
that
just-
something that while they're out doing all of this, that we could ask them about? I mean, it seems like that, because I know one of the requirements is that you have to have a sidewalk if you want to have a crosswalk, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to have a good,
Yeah.
nice sidewalk.
Yeah, and that is anecdotally what I've also understood, is that you can't, I think this was part of the conversation with
Right.
the Palm sidewalk as well, but Douglas will be back this afternoon, we can definitely ask about that, it makes sense, I understand what you're saying. Make
Yeah.
it easy for people to flow into there.
And I mean, another, you know, directing walkers and bikers to the backside is, I feel like that would be fine.
Having
Right.
anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
And is there like a bike corral? No, that's on the other side, like a,
You can get to the bike rack either way,
It's on-
from the
yeah.
front, or if you were to come down the back, that little self-made golf cart path
Right.
leads you right to the
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bike rack.
just while we're at it.
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll take a look at that.
So still fingers crossed for mid to late September?
Yes,
That-
and we'll find out about the AT&T thing. I'm not sure exactly what took so long, why the coordination took so long. So our construction team looks like they've been reaching out to them for quite a while, so.
Yeah, why would they just run across that now? I mean, there's been a number of people I've seen on social media that have been talking about AT&T outages in that area, but why would there not be coordination before it?
I can't answer that. That's a good question. I don't have the answer. I know there's multiple utilities. It's probably a lot to keep up with. I'll have to find out. I don't know the exact answer why they just came across this.
I will say our team was out there in January, February, walking with AT&T on the waterway path. But if it's dealing with SCDOT encroachments because you're putting those boxes into their area, their right of way, that's where the holdup may be, for them to be able to physically move those boxes, move that wire into their, I don't know, speculation.
So move on to 6B, updated discussion of beach projects. Renourishment began in earnest on the 27th of July. To date, Marinex has put out 157,000 cubic yards of sand. They're currently located, roughly the construction areas at Station 296, which is between Shipwatch and Summer House. The north sand fence is in front of Summer House. That's kind of what we're tracking, because that's where you kind of can see where your limitations for beach access is. So we're paying attention not just to where they're constructing, but how far forward or north their fence is. So right now that's at Summer House. Due to the weather that you're looking out and seeing out of the window right now, they stopped dredge operations on Sunday, and they are hoping to tug the dredge back out to the Barlow site this afternoon, weather dependent. We are in coordination with South Carolina's DES team and DCM and working to address some derelict sand fencing. So that's, I will address that with Douglas immediately. That's probably, in addition to the sandbag issue, sandbag removal issue, one of the first things we need to get on this week once they start operations again is some of the derelict sand fencing that is out of compliance with BCM standards. So we have to address that. The map there just kind of showing that we're generally on schedule. We got a little bit delayed with the weather. What we really wanted to talk about here is this issue of the back fence, and what we're anticipating will happen is, go back to the previous slide real quick, Josh. You can see the map right there. Yep. So you can see that yellow wedge shape at the top of the map. That's basically showing that the area which the public will have to kind of walk along the beach and not be in the construction area is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking the further north the construction goes. So there's going to come a point probably where they're not going to be able to walk on, what you would consider the front part of the beach, or the seaward side of the dunes anymore. So we'll have to come up with some areas where they can basically walk back and forth on the beach.
Do you know how long that might be for, Sean? I mean, is that something we can just publicize and work around, and if there's no access for safety purposes, there's no access for a period of time, or I don't know what to...
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think the video we did, Josh, you kind of already put that information out. Yeah, so we put a video out kind of that shows this exact area, and I'll work with Steven and see if we can actually forecast how long that'll be. It could be a long time because we're out at beach.
Like a month, 2 months, or...
I would say that's probably accurate, a month at least. It's just an estimate. I'll try to get some more detail on that.
Yeah, where that narrows there, that's already in there.
I was gonna say, I'm not sure you can
Yeah,
walk there
yeah.
anyway.
So this slide here gives you kind of a different look at it. And so the red dashed line is where the foot traffic is currently walking back and forth. And we were out there last week and literally watching this happen as we were inside the construction area, kind of where that white box is in the bottom middle of the slide there. That white box is their little command center. People are walking back and forth, north and south. But as you move north, which is right on the slide, they're starting to run out of room there. And so you can see where the limit of the fencing is. They still have room to get by right now, but as we keep moving, like I mentioned a moment ago, they'll run out. So there is a path that's indicated in the yellow box, kind of in the center of the slide. So there, you could have a situation where people leave the property, go on that path, and then move either north or south and go to the area of the beach that they want to set up at. So we're trying to kind of work out what that's going to look like right now. And the other complicating factor is that once we go into sandbag removal, this will kind of be exacerbated because you're going to have excavation equipment on the beach that has to pull out the sandbags, plus the active construction where they're doing the renourishment. So we need to pull together a meeting here with Stephen and kind of figure out exactly how we're going to do that so people can still have access to the beach as much as possible.
Will it be moving east as the sand is dumped onto the beach? The beach itself will be growing,
Yes.
right? So that area that we're looking at that's mostly water now will be moving, so they're, right? And so like the area behind it will be moving with it, or does their construction stuff stay where it is?
No, they are very sensitive to the fact that people want to get on the beach. And
Okay.
so the idea is that that's kind of like, that entire box kind of moves as
So it
one
moves,
unit.
right.
So they have a designation called front fence, I think they call it front fence, back fence, or north fence, south fence. And that's like, we're not just tracking where the construction is happening, we're tracking where that fence is. Because when people are calling asking, is this going to impact my vacation? We have to know where they are, and we have to know where that fence is to try to
Right.
give them the best estimate we can. So
So
that's
where
kind of-
they're working at, between, help me, I'm blanking on the names of those condos, but where they're primarily working right now, that'll move a condo or so down. How long, what's that, like every week?
It moves
or-
somewhere between 100 and 300 feet per day approximately.
Okay,
Yeah, and right now, we're still at that part of the reach where it's getting wider and wider. We haven't hit the apex where we're tapering back down yet. It's still, so their movement is probably more like on the 100 foot per day right now.
Any thoughts on quality? I mean, quality of sand was a concern, but I'm guessing, how's the quality?
Not a sand expert, but when I was out the other day, it looked fantastic to me. My untrained eye, and Steven said he's very happy with it. He did say that some of the sand had a little what they call shell hash in it, which again, to me, it just looked like sand. I'm not a sand expert, but it looked very good. Steven was very happy with it, and he is in daily coordination with Marinac. So if they get into a bad lens of sand, they'll wait a period of time to see if it's just really, really small, but they have basically time thresholds where they'll say, stop, the sand quality is too low, and they'll move to a different area of the borrow site. And it's a little bit of wait and see because it takes about 15 minutes from the scoop of sand in the borrow area to travel all the way down the pipe and hit the beach. But it looked pretty good to me. We were actually out there, and I thought we were on the organic original beach, and Steven said, no, this is where you're standing right now is all brand new sand.
cool.
So,
Good.
Where is that? Like where, because where are they borrowing from? It's farther south than is that right?
it's,
Okay, because I thought I saw stuff out there yesterday, and I was like,
there's my man Josh.
oh, there it is.
Okay, so
All right, so yeah, it's right there.
I don't have the latitude and longitude for that, but
I was
essentially.
not hallucinating. All right.
No, you were not hallucinating. And when you come across Breach Inlet, you immediately will see the dredge when it's on station. It's down at Fort Johnson right now because of the weather, but
Cool.
yeah.
All right.
So it looks like they'll be able to satisfy both ends from about the same proximity.
Yeah.
Yes, and we didn't want to mire you down with too many details, but we get a daily report from Marinax that shows the lanes within the borrow area. So it's really cool. The dredge is just swaying back and forth on the ocean floor, scraping this out, and they get to the end of the lane, and then they come back and they reset and they do another lane. So that's very, very controlled. And so again, if they get into that bad lens, they can kind of reposition and get into some better material.
Now, where is this in relation to the old stone fleet? Do you know?
I think those circles are areas of avoidance. So I can't say for sure that that's that, but the natural and cultural resources that the dredge has to avoid is intimately known by Stephen and by them, so they'll stay away from those areas.
Probably a lot of that sand from the Borrow area is sand that we placed several years ago.
No kidding. Can you zoom out just for a second?
Boomerang sand, is
So
that?
the purple is where we're taking from, or the green, or both?
Right
The green. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, and if you zoom in on Reach 1 a little bit, Josh, So how we kind of can track where they are is they sent us this KML file, and this allows us to exactly correlate where they are based on, so that's their report. And then we can zoom in and see each of those lines that go out into the ocean correspond to the stations on the beach. And so we can exactly see where they are, and they're very precise. So that picture that he has up, I think, is 296 plus 20, which tells you they're 20 feet into that next station. So, and then that same report is the one that tells us where the north fence and south fences are, so we can kind of track, what part of the beach is not available for recreation.
Cool, thanks.
Okay.
Good input.
So, are you ready to move to the next topic?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll go now to update and discussion of marina parking lot reconfiguration on page 15. Klein has submitted the permitting set of plans to the county. The permitting can take from 6 to 9 weeks. They believe they can do it on the shorter end. Right now, they've already, Klein is in direct coordination with the county, so the county's been very helpful in working so far. The permitting set of plans have some slight differences in them from the concept plans. The first difference is that they update, and that's the slide that Josh has pulled up right now, the trailer spots, the drive between the trailer spots to allow for easier truck exit of the restaurant, as well as additional maneuverability for these large trailers that have to deliver supplies. They added a bid alternate for a Barracuda water quality control unit. So I'll explain this the best I can. There are multiple inlets in the parking lot that collect stormwater. And I got the stormwater guy here too. Be ready. So the inlets come in various types. So the standard inlet essentially has to be cleaned out 3 to 4 times per year. And they have basically disposable receptacles that are inserts that go into them, and you pull those out. The Barracuda system comes with a higher front-end cost. I think it's about $50,000 to purchase on the front end, but it has an extreme long life to it, and it's generally thought to be superior. And the reason that this is a discussion point is because the issue of water quality is one of the major permitting requirements. So, and that's from, I think that's again from BCM. So there's a lot of focus on that. So they've put that in there as a bid alternate.
Is it one of these?
There's at least one. There's multiple inlets. I don't recall. There's a central inlet. There's some other pictures on there. Josh, if you can go to the map sheet that talks about drainage. It'll say in the bottom right, left corner, the drainage plans. I think you passed it. That's the old or the legacy type system there. Yeah, right there. So I believe that circle in the middle of the sheet is one of the inlets. I'm not 100% sure that there are multiple inlets.
Yeah, there's 2 over by the restaurant too, so they got inlet protection there. There's one where it says by Mill Asphalt, so they may have reduced that to 1. I don't see another one there, so there may be 2 of them.
So this will be in the documents, and it's just something for us to consider, I guess. It seems to be a superior device, but it, of course, comes with a higher cost up front.
And there's a couple of them? Is that what we're looking
Seems
at?
to be
2, maybe
2.
3.
Yeah, I believe there's multiple inlets. I don't see
So
the
this is the
one.
Flex Storm.
Yeah, if you go down, Josh, to that drainage picture. Coming down. Keep coming down. It's after right there. So I think that is a picture of one in the bottom right corner. And go down. It's a more detailed view. One more slide. Right there.
Yeah, so just so you know, the city installed, when we did an upgrade to the marina drainage, the actual by the fuel island, we had the pipes put in, and then we put the old style, I believe it is ADS that makes it, It's a filter fabric that hangs in the inlet itself and will, you know, break down any microns of material. So if there was gas that came off the fuel island and you get rain, it collects in there. We clean it out periodically. It collects more sand. I couldn't tell you the difference between the two. That one's worked well for what we've known it. We don't know of anything making its way out, but it's something that we should definitely consider because it goes straight out to the waterway from that point.
So moving on, they've
Is
added,
having the gravel as opposed to asphalt or semi-perm, well, I guess that, those are in where it would be asphalt or, right?
yeah, I believe that the inlet in the center for sure is, that's
Yeah.
right in the middle, and then there were some other inlets to the right of that blueprint.
I mean, having it gravel, does that make a difference if it's in gravel?
Yeah,
I mean, I
you'll
feel
have
like, I feel
infiltration
like you're
if-
not gonna have as much of the runoff
it
and,
would be for, if there was a hard surface there, for all that
okay,
sheet runoff to go into that drain. If you're on gravel or anything, you know, permeable,
that we're-
it's just
yeah.
gonna infiltrate just like it would in the sand anywhere
Right.
else.
Isn't that what we're having? Crust asphalt?
well, in certain, in the drive areas, it's gonna be asphalt,
Yeah,
it's
the
gonna
dry
be
land,
actual.
that's right.
So
So
that's where
what
it
probably
would
is
be
indicating
necessary.
where it's
Yeah.
necessary, so it may just be one. I did not look at that in depth, I apologize, but I will.
They added a bid alternate, a second bid alternate for some ribbon curb to go around some of the materials. That's on page 25, Josh, if you go there. It's kind of just a simplistic view there, right there. There was some interest in getting some more decorative curbing, so that's in there as well. And they modified the asphalt drive to match the existing condition more closely. And then we're working with Klein to make sure we update our internal planning documents, particularly the timeline. This one, you may remember from the lease documents, we were very concerned that there's a kind of like a kill switch. If we're not going to make our timeline, we can now back out. That wasn't the situation with the previous lease agreement. So we now are very focused on the timeline, and we're very focused on establishing the time at which we are going to just have to say the project will not happen now and we'll have to defer it. So we're working to establish that timeline. We don't have that exact date yet. It's highly dependent on the permitting, which I just mentioned could take up to 6 to 9 weeks. So we're trying to finalize and put more fidelity into the timeline.
We have an update at the next meeting? on
I
that?
think we
Can
can,
we
yes.
present that
Yeah.
timeline and
Yeah.
just see kind of where we are and just track on it?
Sure.
If we miss that, we're waiting another year.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But that's what's in our agreement with the restaurant now, so
Yeah.
that we don't interfere with their season.
But that's basically up to the end of February to complete the project.
Yes, that's about right. Somewhere in there, we have a very short window. It's, according to those that know construction, this is not a complicated project, but it's still got our timeline. I don't think the construction part of it is what's concerning everybody. It's everything that leads up to,
Right, once you get started, it'll be
Yes.
pretty quick.
yes, ma'am, I think that's how we believe.
Now, back to the diagram, you said there was a slight modification in the routing of the trucks. Is that where it was before, or is there, when you say slight modification, what was
I
the
think they just expanded it, and the note that the engineer put out was that despite that, it will not affect the restaurant's parking. So their parking remains as was agreed.
But I can't remember which version, it looped all the way around out towards 44, was that the one that everybody agreed? Is that different than this one, or I can't? And candidly, there were so many versions, I don't know
I
exactly.
think it's just the red, it's just where
Josh,
they're
go back to
drawing
the
that
trailer.
It's all,
red.
it's all, everybody's okay with
I
that.
think, I mean, it doesn't look like it's changing anything except for the path itself, right? Like is that the change, that red?
Yes, that's basically,
You've got to go back a couple more, John.
there's a red
19.
pathway, Josh. I think it's the first slide even,
Yeah, 19.
right there. Yep. So, Scott, I also don't remember what exactly the deviation is from the first one. I just know they're trying to, you can actually see the schematic of the trailer at the very bottom center of the chart. So they're trying to make sure they have enough room for these large vehicles to maneuver.
I just couldn't remember, one version had it going all the way in front of the green space and out, and I didn't know if that's, I think we're way beyond that version, so never mind. I think
Okay.
if everybody's good with it, then I'm not gonna worry about
Okay,
Any other
no.
thoughts, questions? All right, so we'll get updated timeline, and when do we need to make a decision on that outfall, whatever? What is it called?
The
Inlet.
Barracuda system?
Yes, Barracuda.
It's going to go in the bid document, so I don't think there's anything to decide
Okay.
right now.
Any potential estimate of cost, additional cost?
Well, the initial upfront cost that they mentioned, and this was kind of informal, was $50,000 for the Barracuda system. So you're basically balancing a system that has a higher front-end cost with lower maintenance versus a system that has a lower front-end cost but requires routine maintenance. And they said it requires to be basically pulled out and maintained at least 3 times a year. I guess conditions, it could be more.
But that's what you're seeing, that's what we have over on the
We have a
marina
similar
side.
one, yeah, it's almost like a basket with a filter fabric that we clean out.
And is it quarterly or roughly?
Yeah, I would have to check with the stormwater foreman, but he's been down there, yeah, I would say at least quarterly to
Okay.
just clean it out. It gets more sand than anything.
Yeah.
Ready to move to the marina
Sure.
dredging?
Yes.
Okay. So the dredging, ATM is now Geosyntec. So I know we're used to referring to ATM, but I've got them here in my notes. Geosyntec, new name, same people. Geosyntec has the draft plans built for the bidding, so that's some good progress there. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, we're trying to use the site, the disposal site by the connector. So the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Charleston District has to put together a package that will state that there's no negative impact to the intercoastal waterway. They send that packet to the district and headquarters in Atlanta, and then they have to concur that decision and send that back to us. So that packet is still with the Charleston District. As of last week, they believe they could possibly get it out of their headquarters this week and then sent on to Atlanta. So we'll have to wait and see if they're able to hit that timeline. The packet, and we have no idea how long it will be in Atlanta, so we just don't know. According to USACE, we can go ahead, though, and initiate bidding without the packet back. We just wouldn't want to engage a contract, obviously, without the packet and the permits. So that's, we're moving forward on that. That's where we are right now on the marina dredge. Questions on that? Okay, the next topic is 6E, that is update on the potential beach volleyball court. Carrie and I talked about that a little bit more this week, and I guess it's really a question of real estate. I think it's always been real estate, so she has been looking at some possible options, and I think it really comes down to it's going to be hard to do without taking away from something that's a pre-existing program, but I'll let Carrie speak to that.
That is correct. The area that we mainly talked about is kind of what Douglas mentioned a couple months ago. It's possibly oh my goodness.
Over by
Filling in
The ditch.
Yeah,
The
filling in
dry
the dry
pond,
pond.
filling in the dry pond. And it would fit there, but then that's a project upon a project, and
So what about the thought of doing a grass, like that would be more temporary and then see how it goes and then maybe look at that as a
that
next
is
step?
that's definitely an option. We could definitely do a grass court, and get nice poles. And when you're dealing with grass, there's no worry of that sand ledge moving into that space or that grass space moving into that grass space. And if something were to become an issue, we would just pop up the lines or like canvas lines that you pin down. So if
And I've-
that were in the way, the volleyball net would still be
I've
a
asked around and I feel like that's
a
a
potential.
good first step. And you
I
know,
think it
if
would
we
also
found out
show,
we were getting
the
a lot of
use.
use. Right.
then we could look at other options
Then
too.
we could
But
look-
we could probably do a grass net pretty quick.
So that,
It-
would that be lining and a net, basically?
That would be lining in a net, and we would look in probably a nicer net that would be adjustable. So adults could play, youth could play, and it could be adjustable for the person.
An age challenge to play.
Any age challenge, yeah. Pick your poison for the height that you.
We just taken
you wanna-
that down.
So in that area, we would, we could use the grass area by the fitness court. And then if it were in the way when soccer season comes up in the next 3 weeks, all we would be moving would just be the lines.
Okay.
The net would still be there and not in the way. And
I like that idea.
That'd be a temporary.
that's just a temporary too, just to see
Yeah.
usage. I know grass and beach are obviously different sports, different surfaces. But it would add a playing area, and there are tons of grass tournaments around as well. Columbia just had a huge one a couple weeks ago, so people do play grass as well.
But I mean,
So-
I think the biggest thing is if we see that it's getting used a bunch.
Then we could look into-
then we can look into
Yeah, correct.
the ditch and making it like an actual. Would we be able to, if we did do that, we'd be able to reuse the poles, I would assume? Like you can.
Yeah, I would
we
think
wouldn't be,
so.
like throwing those away, I hope.
I would think so, yes. Yeah.
That would be something to ask the, maybe if they install them in a way that they
Could be correct.
It could be moved
Yes.
at a later
Yep.
date.
Yeah, we can look into that.
Would you like her to come to the next meeting with kind of the plan?
I can
on where
do
to
some
put it?
rough
equipment?
guess pricing for a nice set of adjustable poles in my head without really looking would be $3,000 to $5,000 is what grass court would cost.
Okay.
That is a pure guesstimate. Of just numbers I feel like I've
Based
seen
on
by
poles.
researching the
Yeah.
beach.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I mean, I think
but I can
that's-
come with a better plan next
Yeah.
month.
Yeah, and also a
For some
plan
grass.
to kind of socialize it and advertise it and get the word out, so.
Yeah. Cool.
IT costs?
IT costs. Oh, wait, well, I don't know, it's not really on our agenda, but maybe kind of is. Where are we, at the tennis courts? Where are we on that?
We are waiting for the rain to stop. Kind of like
rains,
the,
of course.
yes,
It rains
that's
like 3
correct,
months.
I know, yes. We have all of the supplies to finish the surfacing and lining in the parking lot, and it decided to rain, Friday, Monday.
And what was the
Tuesday.
final decision on pickleball lines? This one,
It's tennis only.
both courts are tennis?
Both courts are tennis only. So, but when the rain stops, everything's at the rec center
It's ready to go.
surface, line, and I would think 2 weeks,
Awesome,
Nice.
thanks. As soon as the rain stops.
as soon as the rain stops.
I think some people will be happy about the tennis court only
Yes.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
As a recovering tennis player, I can attest to that.
yeah, that was a topic at the coffee with the mayor, and there was a desire to have multi-use, and then after the meeting, there was an email that was sent in to the city council, I think you guys got it, was different courts for different sports. So it was, I guess right now, though, that's.
I
what
think
we're
that's
gonna have.
always going to
Yeah.
be a hot topic
Yeah.
between pickleball players and tennis
It is.
players. But the good news is we have great pickleball courts,
Right.
and now they have lights, so we've extended that play. And, updated basketball, so now we're updating tennis, and give us some time, we'll see how it goes.
Bless you. So the next topic, Katie, is,
Sorry.
Bless you, bless you.
is update on IT costs, which I also am allergic to.
That's why I'm sneezing.
No, so big picture,
Apologies, yeah.
big picture, we have basically gone through our IT account as Deborah has provided it to us, and we have identified the big ticket items as far as cost goes, and we're addressing those pretty much in one of two ways right now. One is kind of the easy answer, which is to prune them, to use Scott's term, and that is basically getting rid of services and devices that we're not using on a regular basis. In addition to the pruning, I guess kind of a branch of pruning, no pun intended, is that we are putting devices in basically suspension for up to 90 days to see if, frankly, some of these, we don't exactly know who has them or where they are. So we're putting them in suspension, and if nothing happens, we'll probably discontinue that service to save even more money. So that's kind of the short stuff, the short fuse stuff that we can do, and it's easy, we can do it at our level. The second one is for the large items, we have gone out to bid for the managed IT services. And so we've had multiple vendors come and do site visits for the managed IT services. We have more on the schedule to occur this week and next week. And that's really the big ticket item, that cost there. So that's kind of where we are right now. Our site visits and questions have to be complete by the 14th of August, and the RFP is to be opened on the 28th of August. So we're moving forward with that. But it's been a good exercise. Committee members have been helping us with it. It's helped us see ourselves better. It's helped us establish relationships with our account executives and account managers. There are other areas we're still going to look into. Some of the cable companies, for example, might be paying for stuff we don't need to there, so we haven't stopped doing it. It's kind of like an ongoing process at this point. The big cost is being addressed through the RFP.
Can I just add to that? I think one of the big ahas going through the process, and this is pretty typical, was, we get like a monthly fee for devices. And those monthly fees, based on different flavors of service, can vary significantly. So, like $60 a month to $180 a month per device. And embedded in there are certain levels of service, i.e. monitoring, i.e. Fixing, patching, keeping your software updated. Then there's another set of services that it appears that we procured based on, 3 years ago, and that was a lot of these other additional add-on services that we probably have never used or don't need or haven't really taken advantage of. And, it's not necessarily on the vendor, it's just something that we've had in there, but it's a fairly significant portion of our monthly bill. And if you take that significant monthly portion, you take $180 or whatever per month, and you are able, I think our opportunity is, there's a slice in there that we may decide, what we don't need, and you multiply that times 100 devices times 36 months, and it becomes significant opportunity, I think. And so I think this is really where we're looking to hopefully, going forward, procure the services that we need. And if we need any of those additional, we're probably a lot better off going a la carte. Would you agree with that, Sean?
Yes. Yeah, and as a slight excursion on the IT cost, Katie, at the last meeting, you said, hey, I thought we were also talking about quality of service and service delivery. And that is true. And a new development was yesterday, VC3 put together a meeting between themselves, us, and Segra to talk about internet speeds, particularly at the rec department and at Fire Station 2. So what they have done with Segra, they kind of said, hey, we need you guys to develop a proposal, no cost right now, just give us a proposal of increasing the speed at those locations so we can see what that looks like. So I believe that the recent engagements with Segra, the VC3 is kind of helped instigate some of those.
And we have that legacy pipe that was put in 20 some odd years ago between the city hall and the fire department because of an employee relocation from one facility to another. And those are things that we're paying for on a monthly basis that we just might not need with today's technology. So.
Okay. Any other questions on IT? Okay, the next old business is discussion of amending trash collection policies as they relate to commercial operations. And I'll turn that one immediately over to Robert.
Sure. All ready for this. I apologize once again. I did not get these discussion points in the packets. I'm just going to pass them out. It's basically what we've known, what we've kind of are going to talk about today with solid waste management. So just kind of diving into the ordinance and rewriting it, found out that, we've always struggled with yard debris, miscellaneous debris. It's been getting worse. We've seen a lot of importing of debris onto the island, and without any solid ordinance, there's nothing we can do about it. I mean, I have code enforcement running around just suggesting, are you going to take that debris away with you? And there's really nothing he could do at this point. So this is kind of where it comes from. And then I even, diving into this, it's kind of funny, Public Works Committee, August 4th, 2015, it's the exact same discussion on debris pickup, complaints, out of wild dunes, stuff being left, landscape debris, can't control, landscapers from leaving stuff, which I found out that Wild Dunes already has an ordinance preventing contractors from leaving debris on the rights of way, but they really don't have a measure to enforce it. And that I
Still
found-
us picking it up.
Still us picking it up. So, I mean, we enforce garbage can rules in Wild Dunes. I can't see why we couldn't enforce this ordinance in Wild Dunes. And this was through Jacob Hildebrand from Wild Dunes. He said just, we don't have the people catching that load being put out or whatever the case may be. So it is just kind of funny, same day that this same problems persisted, 11 years ago. Somewhere along the line, because I even went back further, in 1997, our ordinance for the city of Island
Year I
Palms.
graduated high school.
Yeah, I know. Not my forte, this whole thing, but it's all good. This section, still 3-2-5, was amended to read as follows. The city will not collect materials listed in this category which are generated by landscapers or other contractors. Sometime after this point, it was pulled out of there. And it was just listed as the city will pick up routine landscape maintenance. So that could be anybody, anywhere, and we have to pick it up.
So it was actually an ordinance in 97.
It was an ordinance in 97. Now, Douglas and I had talked about this. It says it was amended. I believe it was adopted. I'm not 100% sure. Kind of stopped when I got to 97. So it was in
Fair
there,
enough.
and it's not in our CUD, it wasn't in our current ordinance. So what I did is I took suggestions from IOP, on where we had deficits in our code, in our ordinance, and adopted those, wrote them in. Somehow this was a red line document, and we don't know how it turned to blue, but it's blue. So you can see the corrections there that are crossed out. You can see additions. Some of the stuff is so antiquated, but it's like on the fire department side, so like incinerating, authorization for burning, so I just kind of put an FD next to it for the fire department. But I think what it does is it clearly defines, contractors' waste. It's redundant actually in here. I think there's 3 locations where it's referencing contractors' debris, only because, we have vegetative debris, we have miscellaneous debris, we have, you could call it many different things, but I think this just covers it all. And just, like I said, a lot of little antiquated language when we're in the commercial section. That is subcontracted through Trident currently, so really only points 1 and C and D kind of apply there. Kind of changed up trash collections. I would say that if you could review it, and I would love your input on what you see and maybe what you don't see in here. But then what we also did is and even, offloading of trucks or trailers, debris generated outside of the Isle of Palms, things like that. So added in all that language, even, recycling of cardboard, which is a county ordinance of the way that should be done. So a lot of those things weren't in here. So even after I revised it, I had Josh run through AI just any high priority gaps between this document that I wrote and Mount Pleasant, just to kind of see if there was something we were missing. Added some of that back in. And then Josh even went further to rewrite this kind of very specific. So this way this ordinance was written, they might have added things in. So it's not, I won't say chronological, but there's an order of things, but it kind of jumps around a little bit. But this, what I wrote, has basically the wish list of what I would like to see. I believe what,
Robert, is the red lettering on your suggestions here, is that the result of the AI?
you know what?
It's not, Josh?
It's like
I
two
think-
contributors.
That's what it is. It's different
Yeah.
contributors
Yeah, too.
are marked as different colors. So if
Yeah.
this was a Word document and you hovered over it, you'd see Robert Acero, Douglas Carr.
Right,
Okay.
so then what also in here was when we ran that second AI, this wasn't in here, the debris generated by grading, so that got added in, I believe that's why that is red.
Okay.
At a second date there.
I think this one seemed to be, because there's a lack of coherence in the way it's written and there's so many changes, it's been a little bit harder than some of the other red line revisions that we've done. That's why we just put early draft on there. There'll be quite a bit more work I think we have to do to tighten this up. But I guess confirming the intent is that we don't suffer having to dispose of other people's garbage, literally. And that, because that incurs a lot of cost, that incurs a lot of wear and tear on his fleet. And I think that's be something definitely, Scott, that, in that State of the Union report that he'll give you next month is the fleet is an issue. This type of stuff contributes directly to the wear and tear.
I believe this
Diverts
is.
your labor pool,
Yeah,
too.
I
Yeah,
believe
it's
this
your
is
Your team's
the
running all
real
over the place.
Yeah.
tip of the iceberg for it. So this was why this was my first order of priority, because everything really stems from this. So our guys we're a little different than other municipalities for garbage. So as soon as these guys run their routes on garbage, they're immediately jumping in smaller trucks and trying to catch up with miscellaneous debris. We also have another guy who's running miscellaneous all week long, and then the vegetative side of it, that cat runs 7.5 hours, 8 hours. I can't stop the guy, Tony, on it. And I tell him to slow down, but he just that whole crew runs constantly, which is, though, leading to our complaints that we're getting of gouging grass, scraping the roads. Some of those are the cost of doing business, but at the speed that he's got to try to keep up, and I think maybe you'll even notice it, that we've been trying to get into Forest Trail all the time now, because we have a lot of big trees there. We generate a lot of
It's
debris
not
there.
called Forest Trail for.
Yeah,
no reason.
exactly. So we've been, that, I will say, that crew, they do not stop, and it's just, I don't see it being sustainable, because you'll see, that brand-new cat breaking down loader. You'll see those dump trucks breaking down, So I think like I said, this tip of the iceberg, we reduce our volumes, we're reducing wear and tear on vehicles, we can put labor somewhere else where it's warranted. And then by the same token, if we're stuck, and we were in Forest Trail, picking up a garbage truck full of debris, which I had code enforcement go out there to find out where it came from, nobody knew anything. And that took away from getting to every resident that was trying to do everything right. And that stuff, that was a whole day. That
Was
a
that
whole-
building debris or vegetative?
No, it was all vegetation.
All vegetation?
All vegetation. Right there was a house being constructed. All this debris was right in front of it. I will say our code enforcement's very good. He went door to door. But still, without an ordinance, the only thing that we could have done if it was an undeveloped lot, if somebody cleared a lot, put it all out by the street to build a house, then we can enforce it. But without any ordinance, there's nothing we can do.
And if I remember correctly, we're the only municipality around here
Yes,
that
that's
does
correct,
not
and that-
have some pretty stringent.
And I'm glad you
rules in
brought that up,
place.
because that's the thing. I went through, I had to stop after 6 or 7 municipalities, because it was all there. It was all, no,
It's good.
clearly stated, no contractors generated waste. And, it's just, I know from being a contractor, I've had dumpsters, I've had dump trucks. It was part of the business. You took everything away.
Was this something that, I read through it, I found a couple typos I'll show you.
Yeah, no,
Nothing
that-
big, but
we'll
I
find
thought
out.
you hit the mark on this, and maybe it's a matter of formatting and organizing, but is this something we might be able to put, at least from a committee level, go to consideration at the next meeting?
Yeah, absolutely. And if I don't mind any input. I knew there'd be typos in
It's,
there.
it's,
'cause
no,
that's
this
how-
is, this was,
It looks good to
I
me,
read
too,
through it,
yeah.
looked really good, it looked really good. You did a lot of, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, no, and I think it's just, it's time.
And yeah, even things that I didn't, like, looks like the paint thing was new,
never
and I
even
thought
thought
that
about
we
it.
already had that, but.
Yeah, so then, that's, because I guess internally you hear things, so you'll get that phone
Right.
call, hey, come up to Wild Dunes, your guy spilled paint up and down the street. Well, we didn't put the paint
Right.
under the garbage bag. The guys just dumped the truck, and once that thing sweeps,
It's gone.
those garbage trucks, you'll hear those complaints too. They're not sealed 100%. We
Right.
put seals on them, but, they rust immediately,
Yeah.
get pinholes, so it leaks paint, so that's, and we get the complaints. You guys did it. You guys, we really, really didn't do it. You could trace it back because
Yeah, you can see where it started.
the paint line kind of goes to it.
Red-handed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Okay.
And if-
Yeah, and
we'll
I'll,
just put it on the
if
next.
you want to look over it, and then I'll
We gotta
fine tune
go
it,
to-
whatever you want to do, and sounds good. Okay, great, thank you.
All right. Then we've got Public Works, new business, consideration purchase, Public Works automated side loader, coming out of the hospitality fund, 435,000 budgeted.
Yes.
And so this is already in this year's budget?
Yes, so this was in the budget, this floated around for a while, it got pulled out of the budget when we thought we were going to be looking at a $50 million beach renourishment, so we pulled it out, put it back in. This is something most municipalities are switching to this. It's for a number of reasons. It's, liability with guys on the
The
back
guys
of the
in the back.
truck. I mean, even though they're through staff zone, same liability. There's efficiencies with it. The cycle times on these trucks are 8 seconds to pick up a can and dump it. They're with a cost, and there's more maintenance to this, apparatus, this truck. But that's the trend. Everybody's moving towards that. We're one of the few that don't. I don't think our fleet will be all automated, but with the introduction of this, it's one-man operation. We have the route scheduled, formatted. The cans, all the new cans have gone to where this route is, because you got to understand it's both sides of the island. So you have to have a route on this side of the island for it on Mondays, this side of the island on Tuesdays, and then you repeat Thursday and Friday. So it's a one-man operation, so that will eliminate, 2 temporary service guys that are on the back of the truck. So you'll have, labor reduction there. But we will see. We will receive it in the off-season, which is great for us. We can implement it. There's going to be an educational process. The cans are already pre-stamped with the arrow facing in the right direction. So it's just going to be educational campaign to the residents, to the, most of these routes are on routes where the can pullers are, the people that pull the cans. So it's very simple to just redirect them, tell them, hey, can's got to spin around. The truck will dump it both ways. It's just you got to get people in the habit of having the cans turned different than what they are now.
But the ones that will be used, they do the way that they show you to do it is right?
Yes, yeah, on the can, yeah, the can is, yeah, and I didn't realize this till the other day when sanitation foreman told me there is an arrow that is pre-printed right into the lid.
Yeah.
Because that is the operations now. It's really that arm, you'll see Republic doing all recycling that way. Like I said, it's not without
So it's the same as the recycling?
Yes. And that's the best part about it, is the education is kind of there. You could say, hey, put your trash out the same way you do recycling, and the people are already there, so.
So this is a new truck,
New
fully
truck.
warranted. What type of
Yes, it's a.
what type of warranty does it have? I mean, just normal.
Yeah, it's a norm, I believe, on these, you know, the Mack engines are warranted for a long time. So you have, that's the confusion, the cab and chassis, which is Mack truck. So the cab and the wheels and all the components is one. The garbage body is from another, and they just marry the two together. So the Mack trucks are warranted quite a bit, and I would have to get you because each model carries a different warranty. This one's a cab over, one might be a Granite, whatever. But then you have the bodies, you know, and then the bodies we have, you know, on-site service that will come down if something breaks on it. So very similar, you know, obviously our rear loaders, few less mechanical parts, but nonetheless, they're all hydraulics. Side loaders, big hydraulic arm.
So Robert, quick question on the, this is our letter, the chassis looks like it's in, I'm guessing that's just a typo on the November, it's coming November 26th.
It is, yeah, so this letter was generated a while back. The truck is here physically. We have a great relationship with AMEC Equipment, so the truck is basically just sitting there right now. The letter of
It's all
intent.
assembled and they're ready to go.
Yeah, it's all ready to go. I mean, I have a picture on my phone if you actually wanted to see.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, it's just a garbage truck. So, yeah, we did this. I just put this letter of intent in because it gives South Carolina state procurement numbers, where we're purchasing it from, because I had to purchase it from Shealy Mack up in Columbia because they were truly on the South Carolina procurement's list. And that's the way we
Okay, so
buy.
timeline's like this, not like this.
No, the truck is here. If I wanted it here tomorrow, which they want me to have it here tomorrow.
Okay.
But,
So where it says that led me to the quote, it says future charges that the manufacturer, it says future charges that the manufacturer deems necessary will be passed along to the customer along with, and I'm guessing this might have been tariff related or something.
yeah, and that was like.
Is that now no longer a
That's
risk
no-
and we're
Yeah,
good
no,
with the price?
That number is that number.
cool.
I spoke to
That's
AMEC
great.
Equipment about the PO and everything to be
So
put in.
no surprise charge,
No
future
surprise
charges.
charges.
Okay,
That
great.
is,
What kind of labor savings do you think we have with a couple of temps?
well, you would have, it's a full-time route minus two guys. I didn't break it down, but we're doing, right now, I think the labor rate is up to almost $22 an hour, and there might have been an increase for them. So 8-hour days, 22, you know, and that would be for, you know, you do keep them around even for the 5 days because you would switch them to something else because it's hard to get the same repeat guys if you don't give them that 5 days a week. But you could guarantee 4 days of savings at 2 men at roughly $22 an hour, 8-hour days.
It's a couple $1,000s a week.
Yeah. And there's, you know, there was a big push for, you know, like MASC, our insurances, when you go, when you say rear loader, there's 2 guys hanging on the back of a truck. When you side loader, there's a guy in the cab, you know.
Huge safety difference. Do we, is this, it says
Motion-
consideration.
Yeah,
Are we-
motion to approve?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, and discussion of trash at the marina. I know this has been an ongoing thing forever and ever.
Sure. So, yeah, marina trash. We've a year ago, we contracted with FVS Contracting. They do all the state's right-of-ways. They do City of Charleston, I think Charleston County, they pick up trash. You'll see them, if you ever drive up 26, they're almost there all the time. So we contracted with them a year ago to do an island-wide sweep. So with that, they start at Breach Inlet, Commercial District, all the way past Harris Teeter, 21st, all the way forward to First, then they end up at the marina. So at the marina, it was the parking lot, we just did the whole thing because trash isn't, it's combined. And then we had the guys go 10 feet into the marsh. So this year, I was pacing myself out a little bit with them So they were here after every major event. Kickoff was Front Beach Fest. We started before that, and then also after that, all the major holidays I've had them in, because I've had a lot of participation from Public Works temporary employees on this side of the island this year. So we've been able to manage time. We've had Public Works employees out walking the beach actually from 5th to 25th, picking up debris. We've had them down in all the Front Beach Commercial District, front of Connector. But my oversight was why I wasn't putting FVS on all the time. Our guys were cleaning up here, making up the difference. Nobody was going down to the marina. So I think that's where we got a little bit of a build up for it. So I've contracted to have them come in. I believe they're coming in on Thursday. Going to do an island-wide sweep again, get out into the marsh, pick all that stuff up. And then in coordination with that, we're just going to put a discrete kind of netting on the bottom, from the bottom rope to the underside of the boardwalk, that will collect any blowing debris, because it comes straight across the parking lot and ends up into the marsh. And that at least captures some of it in between when we can pick it up.
Some of that's tidal waste.
Some of it
too.
is tidal.
So
You'll see
it would
things
come
that
from
will
the
float
intercoastal
in.
side.
Yeah.
Well, I think we all got the same kind of communication. There were a couple of people that, made a point of going down and visiting the dock, visiting the area, and saw a lot of debris, that a lot of it, tourist related, I'm sure, traffic related, because we're in the high season, and which raised the question of, okay, this is fine with the contract group we've got, but they can't be everywhere every day
Right.
doing all this. So there has to be some, I think, plan in place, from the operators themselves, or tenants, to make sure they do a daily sweep and a daily upkeep.
Well, I agree. I mean,
That's reasonable to expect.
it was basically, the debris was from the T-dock towards the restaurant.
Right.
And, those garbage cans were overflowing. What I found, being in tune with beach garbage and everything else, is a lot of times it's animals. It's animals. I've watched blackbirds with those yellow barrels sit in the parking lot and just throw out garbage. So a lot of it's, not like negligence on people just throwing stuff. Things blow out of cars and this and that, but there definitely has to be participation on even, to just, clean up your area, that
Well,
kind
it's
of.
coming from everywhere. I mean,
Right.
back when I worked in the private sector, we ran supermarkets. I mean, you had
Right.
this
And
huge
that's-
parking lot in shopping centers. We were the anchor tenant, but you sort of swept up and picked up behind everybody, because the refuse, the trash, rubbish, whatever, it's
Right.
coming from everywhere.
And that's what I said, yeah,
So
just it
everybody
flows
has
in
to
from
have some
everywhere.
level of responsibility for upkeep around not only their parking lot on a daily basis, but their dumpster area.
Well, yeah, I think if we get
keep
this
that.
parking lot done too,
That'll help.
it'll clean everything up down there, and then hopefully, just get, on the schedule where they can just pick up. And even if
Yeah.
it is just, the restaurant to the T-dock, and then we worry about the rest, or, just
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Marina does a pickup of their own,
Well, it was definitely an eye opener down there.
Yeah, no, it was.
Because, when you're standing in the parking lot
Yeah.
and you're looking towards the Intercoastal Waterway, you didn't really see
I
anything.
didn't see it at all.
But when you got up to the fence, and even on the public dock side, between the two docks, the public dock and the marina, the restaurant dock, there wasn't a lot there either. But then when you got on the other side, you could see where there were, debris had come in from boats that were anchoring there, plus off the lot. And that was an area where it's always going to be windy to some extent, and it just blows right in there. And it was pretty much an eye opener.
It was, I agree.
Yeah.
But the debris, like around the dumpsters, that I know that the marina has discussed, people using their dumpsters.
Right.
I figure a lot of that is probably coming from that. And then I also see when I recycle my glass that people like to throw whatever the heck they feel like throwing in glass recycling. And I'm wondering if it would we just be creating more of a problem if we put a trash receptacle or two down near there, like, or is that just begging for
Yeah,
people
I think,
to
so the
use
problem,
our-
yeah, the
our
problem
trash?
the problem we had before it was the public dock, and I guess it was Tidal Waves dock, and then we took it over, we put cans down there. And Donnie, I was on the same page with him, he was like, wait till you put a can down there, As soon as we did, it was
full.
white household trash bags that ended up in it. We pulled it, then we got to the public dock, and there was a need for it. We put one of the black garbage cans that we use for the beach, it's kind of behind the sign there. We are maintaining that city. So when my guys run the route, they're going there, they're grabbing that, and they're dumping that can. I don't know whose trash they're dumping there, but I had to put a can out there. I think ultimately, when we finish the green space, it needs to be an enclosed receptacle where you can just
Where it only
put-
fits.
Yeah, and we
that's-
looked into that a while back, and you can just put your can, small thing, you're not
Right.
putting a garbage can in. But I think that will happen if we get to the green space. I've already got numbers on those types of enclosures, and they will actually accept our garbage can. So my guys just go to the back of it, unlock it, pull the can out, and then they can service it. So yeah, it was thought about.
Is that the Kansas on the dock near the restaurant, or are you talking about those?
No, those are not ours. So that
Okay.
was,
Did you find out?
I did not find
Yeah.
out whose those are, but they were,
I'm thinking it's responsibility of the restaurant, but I'm not sure.
whoever's
Well, that
dealing
dock
with
is
the.
shared.
Yeah,
Could
So
be.
It could be
Uh,
both, which might
yeah.
be why it's a problem.
yeah, so yeah,
But those were
somebody,
overflow, that was contributing to it, because
Yeah, that's
those were
always,
basically overflowing.
yeah, I'll look into see if those are ours. We'll make accommodations
Yeah.
to service those regular. I believe there's quite a bit came from there because you push something in and it pushes back out. And
Yeah,
it wasn't-
the other comment I have on that, if you look at the dumpster area for Marina and the Outpost, they keep that gate closed, and it looks like it's locked. I've never really checked to see if it's locked, but it's closed. And the other dumpster container area for the restaurant it's much older, number one. But the gates are open a lot of the time, so
Yes.
I think that contributes to it. I think
Yeah.
probably people see that as an attractive
a
place
great
to just
place to-
throw some
Yeah.
trash.
Well,
right
try-
next to the
it's an
trash.
invitation.
Yeah.
It's an invitation,
Right
yeah,
next to the
because it's
dumpster.
not enclosed, it's not closed up, and that may be contributing to it.
Well, that's what, so Trident Waste, who does all our commercial dumpsters, they have code, for the ones that are locked, they have codes to go in there, open that gate, go in, service it, and then leave. So I know in many locations, I can tell you Beach Club Villas was the last enclosure we've done, there's a code on it, I give the code to them so they know they can get in there. And they just keep it locked, and that just prevents it. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, but I think that's not been happening on the
Yeah,
restaurant
I've seen it
side.
wide, yeah, I've seen it wide open.
Right,
and,
and-
I know with dealing with the compactor up here, staff sometimes get lazy, they throw in bags in there at the end of the night, they just slam the door.
Well,
they
several
know what-
years ago, we had a major issue up here. We remember when
Yeah.
that came up several years ago, that it was just a real mess on this end.
Yeah, and
Um,
we rearranged that
Look,
too.
it doesn't look like that long.
Yeah, and the last thing I would say is, to Dave Loren's credit, he sent us an email. I think we all got copied on that, after the fact, and said that they were going to put sort of a standard operating procedure in place on a daily basis to do a sweep of the parking lot area. And he even mentioned the area, beyond the fence in the marsh there too. So that was good to see that they had made that commitment, and hopefully they've got that in
Yeah,
place.
and I mean, on a commercial dumpster operation, because we manage the compactor up there, that is I have the sanitation foreman up there daily. I mean, that is it's just kind of the business that, the guys come out with the hoppers, they throw the bags, garbage is everywhere. I've got people cleaning up there 24/7 to try to keep it clean. Power wash, I have it power washed all the time. So it is an effort. In other words, it just doesn't run itself.
And it really does reflect on us as a community.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt.
And is that enclosure still there as part of the reconfiguration in the marina parking lot? I didn't even.
I looked at it a while ago. It doesn't seem to be in the drawings I saw. I was going to ask
Right.
that question.
Right, because then if that's the case, then when.
You know, the one where
comes-
we're seeing the reconfiguration of the way the trucks would go in and out? I don't see a
Yeah, I
a
didn't,
dumpster designated there. I may be overlooking it.
yeah, I didn't pay attention
Um,
either.
So I'm not sure where that's going to be located. It's got to go somewhere. But
Yeah. So I think that is just, you just make it a standard of
that'd
what
be
you.
great if it wasn't
Right.
at the entrance of where we're
Right.
going to have sort of a,
Yeah, I'll look into those
you know,
things.
the restaurant with a much better parking lot and our green space eventually
Right.
at the public dock. Something we ought to certainly ought to look into. Josh, can you pull that slide up, the one that shows the marina, the flow of traffic, trucks that,
Page like 19, I want to say.
yeah.
Good enough.
Look at that. Bam.
Yeah, that's the one I think.
Doesn't seem to be in the same location. That's that little square at
I think it's that square at the bottom
the
left.
bottom left over there,
I think that's where it was moved to.
which would make sense because the trucks can go straight in
Yeah.
from
I
that
feel like we
point
talked
and
about
grab it.
that at
So
one point.
I believe it would have to be rebuilt in that location.
Is that it on the corner, left?
I think so.
I was talking about the other rendition that showed the palmetto trees.
It did
and all
have,
that.
it did have the,
Got it scribbled out there, but I just think that's what it would
I think so. We did have a space for it originally.
I remember a discussion about, we had a lot of discussion about the dumpster in building the contract. And I think it did move. We'll find out for sure and send out a
Okay.
note.
All right. Anything else?
Just do a short recap for you on due outs that we have.
Okay.
So we'll send out a note to clarify the drop-off instructions for the rec center. Robert will deliver a State of the Union address on public services.
State of the Union.
We will look into the potentiality for a crosswalk connecting Waterway to 28th, i.e. the rec center. We'll share the timeline for the marina so committee can kind of grapple with what that looks like in detail.
You get any updated cost on that too?
Yeah. We will, Carrie will provide an update on the grass court volleyball option to include a communication strategy. We will prepare the trash ordinance for consideration for the next committee meeting. We will get warranty information to the committee on the automated side loader. We'll give you an estimate on temp labor savings for taking the 2 personnel off the automated side loader. And we will find out the details on the unknown trash receptacle that was just discussed. And then we will identify where the dumpster goes at the new, after the marina's been reconfigured for parking.
And can we take the trash straight to city council, or do we think we need it back here? The trash, and then,
I mean,
If it comes here, it'll go right up to council. If there's anything, I mean, I don't care.
that's true.
Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool. Next meeting is Tuesday, September 1st, 9 a.m. No further business, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Off
Okay.
the record at 10:19.